Thank you for joining us on another video here on the WiseWorks Entertainment YouTube channel. We really appreciate you guys watching and coming around and, viewing our faces talking to each other for a series of minutes each week.
Yes, we
Well,
do.
a couple times a week. So we have a past regarding
Past.
music
Yes, we do.
and regarding music and instruments.
I would say it's slight instruments. I wouldn't say we were like heavily into instruments, but
we have no,
we
we
dabbled.
wouldn't. Okay, well, let me ask you this: would at any point in time in your life would you consider yourself a musician?
No, no,
But at one point in time, did you feel like you were fairly good at an instrument?
no, no.
You're just being hard on yourself.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So let's start with the very beginning, all right? When we were
Yes.
young, as most children were, we were told that we had to do piano lessons.
Piano.
Right.
Yep.
So tell me a little. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, you started before me because I guess it was like part of our schooling. We were homeschooled, so it was like, oh, there we're gonna do music as part of our class, and you're ahead of me, so you started before me, and then I know we kind of moved. I did it for a couple years, and then we moved, so I kind of stopped doing music and playing the piano. But you did it first, so
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, we didn't get like incredible. We weren't great, but you, again, just how would you rate our music abilities with the piano?
Well, you're going too far into the music. We're talking about piano right here.
Yeah.
I would say we both sucked at piano.
Yes. Because
Hardcore.
we were wee little croutons. We couldn't.
We had no desire to play the piano.
That is true.
Zero.
Tis true.
And no offense to the people who taught us through our life, but we did not care about the piano. At least I didn't care.
I didn't really either at the time.
I remember I remember being such a bad student. It was like, it got to the point where it was like, we just want you to practice 5 minutes a day. And it was a part of your school. You just had to practice 5 minutes a day.
Well, we
and I just
croutons.
I would not do it. And I had no shame. Our piano teacher would show up and be like, "Can you play this song?" And I'd be like, "No." And then she would be like, "Did you practice this week?" And no, I didn't practice anything. And then she would get a little annoyed, and then she would give me a piano lesson, and I would stumble my way through it, and she would give me homework for the next week, and I just looked at her and thought in my head, I'm not going to do any of this that you're telling me to do. I'm not going to do any of it.
Okay, so go past piano a little bit. What would you say is next after that?
All right. Well, what was next in your journey? What instrument? Because there wasn't any other instruments besides piano that you were forced to play. All the other instruments that you played, you kind of picked up out of interest, correct?
I mean, I would only say I was really interested in two.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Yes. Tell us about the first one, because the first one was funny, I think, if it's the right one.
No, I'm only thinking of piano and the last one I play, which I kind of still play.
No, you're forgetting about one. You never really played it or learned it well, but you were interested for a season in playing an instrument.
Okay, bring this
Do you
to me
remember what it
because I'm
was?
forgetting.
The trumpet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I was interested and I enjoyed playing, but like I just wasn't great because I didn't have a teacher. I think
Okay.
that was my downfall.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your mindset when you were getting into the trumpet. What made you? Because that was before guitar, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was
What
right
what
before.
happened? Why did you want to play the trumpet, and then what happened to not really ever play it?
Well, I feel like, and I kind of remember this. I was like, I want to play the guitar, but I guess I wasn't allowed to. I don't. I don't know why I went towards the trumpet instead of the guitar. I think it was like more of I wasn't allowed to play the electric guitar or um, like the songs I wanted to. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is crap. I'm gonna just do what I want to do, I guess. It was very vague, and I don't really remember. Eventually, once I did get into the guitar, because that's my third instrument, I basically traded my trumpet in for an electric guitar, and it was fine. Um, I could still play the guitar pretty decent,
Yeah,
um, and I would say that's the instrument that I played and I was interested in. And I can pick up a guitar. I haven't played it in a couple months, but I can pick up a guitar and play some songs
yeah,
just because I know how to play the guitar.
yeah. And you took actual classes that you were interested in taking for the guitar.
Yes, but I wouldn't say my teacher for the guitar was like the best. I didn't learn how to read music or anything with the guitar
Yeah.
because he didn't, but I learned chords and how to read chords through that.
Okay. Um, I have a little bit of an interesting musical background, I guess, with instruments. Um, so we already talked about the piano. I think the next thing that was on my list was I wanted to learn to play um, the what was it? The ukulele?
What?
No, not a ukulele, a
No,
mandolin.
no,
A mandolin.
no.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you wanted to, but you never really picked
I never
anything
learned
up. I think
it.
this
I
was
never learned it. I'm talking about interest.
just okay.
I'm talking about interest. So
I
I wanted to
maybe I'm just
play.
not remembering this because I don't remember any of this
I remember very
much.
clearly wanting to play the mandolin because our dad had one, and um, and I didn't really. I tried to do. He tried to teach me a few things. He knew a little bit of about how to play it. He was more into the guitar, but I wanted to learn it, and I didn't. I couldn't find the motivation, or I couldn't progress in my skill to like make music sounds to stay interested in that. That
Mm.
quickly converted into the penny whistle, I believe.
Now that you could play a little bit, but I mean,
Yes. Now, let me
what
tell
can you
you,
play?
why do you think I got so into the penny whistle for a while?
Uh, wasn't it because of a movie? If what I'm
Um,
thinking.
I think it was I think it ultimately came down to I really liked the sound because I heard the sound of like a penny whistle being played in a song in a movie. And I was like, I that is a sweet, sweet sound
Yeah.
in my ears. I loved the way it sounded. I loved the way it had like an Irish vibe to it. I really loved the sound that a penny whistle produced in like the I don't even know how to explain it. It was very comforting to me, and it was
Yeah.
very mystical and magical in my mind. So I got really into the penny whistle. I soon learned that there was different keys, different penny whistles for different keys. Um, and so I bought a like a $20, or my mom did, a $20 penny whistle in the key of D, I believe it was. And I started playing or learning how to play by ear pretty much. So I would just cover up the holes and I would move my fingers, and then I would look online a little bit. I think I had a few instructional videos. If you move your fingers in certain ways, it produces different notes, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so I did that for a while and I learned a few notes, and then I started putting songs from movie soundtracks into this penny whistle. I started playing them, and that kind of got me into it more. What do you
Yeah.
remember a little bit about the penny whistle? Did you ever toot on it a couple times?
Toot toot. No, I don't. I don't really remember doing that. I guess to me it didn't seem like that long of a time, um, and the only real instrument that I feel like maybe it's just me and my memory now, but the only instrument that I remember like being serious was the guitar for me. I don't feel like
Mhm.
you when it comes to like instruments, maybe music, yes, but not like instruments. You weren't super serious in instruments, so just we weren't very interested in that field for some reason. Um, would you
Well,
agree?
I I wouldn't say I was uninterested. I would say
Yeah,
there was parts of it that really did interest me. I didn't have the motivation to want to make it a big part of my life like some people do. Um,
yeah.
like I said, I got pretty into the penny whistle for a while, and then I thought that would convert really well into bagpipes, you know? Um, and as soon as I think there's something about that Irish folk music sound that I still am into, but I really was enjoying. So I thought it would convert to bagpipes. I started doing some research, found out bagpipes are very expensive, um,
And very hard to play.
very hard to play. So I learned that you could get the tube that you blow into
Toot toot.
for a bagpipe, and you can practice to play that and play the notes without actually needing the bag to make the sound. So you can practice blowing into it, you can practice doing the notes and learn that way. Sadly, I never went and got a full bag, but I did
No
get the
bags.
tube and I started learning how to play it a little bit. I was like, okay, it's a little different than a penny whistle, but it's not crazy different. And then soon, at some point, I think I stopped playing it for a little bit, and then the thing broke, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and so that kind of sadly ended my penny whistle experience. That freaking bagpipe uh, whistle. I don't know what it's called. The piece
Hmm.
that attaches to the bag. Um, and I didn't really come back to the penny whistle after that. Um, from there, I kind of started learning how to strum a guitar and learned a few of the basic notes or chords on a guitar.
Hmm.
And I still strum and have like a little small mini classical guitar that I'll play on a little bit, but I didn't become as well informed and learned as you did on the guitar, um, which makes me sad that I never really seriously dedicated myself to learning an instrument. I've just kind of casually made music, poorly made music passing, you know?
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on, well, at least what was going through your mind for a while of why you got so into the guitar?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like it was the thing that I was interested in. It was high school, junior, senior year. Um, and I had a couple friends that played, so we just kind of got guitars and played. And that's why you wanted to strum a little bit, but never really got serious because you're like, oh, I want to join in, but you never could get into it. Um, and so um, I guess just having friends that were interested in it too just made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I played just a little bit. I played the acoustic first, and then just went and played electric some. I have acoustic and electric guitar. That
What, be honest, when you started playing the guitar, did you ever think this will help me get a girl?
no, not really.
Never? Did you ever play
No,
it in public and think this might get me some attractive points with a girl?
Not really, no. I
Never,
don't.
you never had those
It.
thoughts.
I know you. Why you? I know in your mind you're thinking that I did because you brought it up, but I honestly don't think I did. I feel like it was, and this is kind of just even me now. A lot of people say, I don't know. I do stuff for myself because I want to. I just have a very mindset that it's things that I enjoy doing. I go ahead and do, not really for anybody else. But the fact that you brought that, it makes me think you probably thinking I did. That's funny.
For sure I did. I mean, I was like, me and you aren't terribly different. I mean, we're different people. But I know you pretty well, and I feel like I never was seriously motivated. I don't think I was going to make any kind of, you know, music career. And so when you started getting into the guitar, I'm like, oh man, this kid thinks he's going to be impressing some ladies at some point soon. And so
Some
he's just
beautiful
waiting for his
dames.
opportunity. He's just waiting for his like annual opportunity when there might be a little church party and he can strum a few chords out or whatever.
A little diddly doo doo.
Tickle the
No, cause
tickle the horse
I didn't.
strings.
I mean, of the times I played, I didn't really like play that much in public. Like I didn't like go out and play. Do you remember me ever doing that much?
Um, no, I guess you're right. Well, I kind of had this idea that you would just know when the time came, that there would be an opportunity and you were preparing for that opportunity to just impress a lady, and then in doing so, she might fall for you, and then you guys could live happily ever after. It still could happen. You have a guitar.
I have a guitar,
This
but
might
I
you might
don't
be
feel
playing
like
the long game here.
maybe I should go up to my balcony and just start strumming some little chords and some strings, tickle the strings, as they say,
Tickle the
to
strings.
serenade the dames.
The dames. Okay, two things. I want to end with one story, but I used the term dame to Mackenzie earlier this week. And it was because I didn't know how to use it properly, and it might be offensive to some women, but I saw these Girl Scouts, I guess, out in front of a store, and they didn't look like girls. They looked like, 18, 19, 20-year-old women, but it also seems weird to call them women because they're younger than me, and I don't really consider them adults yet because they're probably still seniors in high school.
Yeah.
And so I called them dames. I was like, they don't.
What?
I was like, they don't look like girls. They look like dames. And she was like, what? And she didn't really know how to respond to that. But that's not what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say was playing in public. Do you know when I played in public? It was a very limited crowd. But do you ever remember me playing to a public at any point? Because
uh,
I'm thinking of a time that I did frequently, and I didn't know that there was always an audience, but there was.
I mean, I can't think of a specific time, but I imagine because of what we're talking about, it had something to do with a female, and
No, did not.
it did
It
not.
had to,
Okay, then
no.
I'm confused.
Well, pretty much what it was maybe we've talked about this before, but as you know, I was really into Lord of the Rings, and when I was into the penny whistle, I was really into playing songs from Lord of the Rings and like just sort of Scottish sounding songs, and I would climb up into the trees in our parents' property in the front yard or whatever, and our parents' neighbors were around, but I didn't really think they were listening. And I would climb way up into the top of a tree, and I would just like find a branch that I can kind of lean on and sit on. And I would just play this penny whistle for like sometimes in hours and just think and play the penny whistle. And then one time I was talking to a neighbor in passing, and they said, "Hey, I really like your whistle music that you're playing in the evenings up in the trees." And I was like, "Well, I didn't know someone was listening, but I guess that was my first audience." So yeah, that's pretty much our history with music as far as instruments go. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we dip out?
No, I think we're good. Just subscribe to this channel, and we have more videos, so go watch some of our older videos if you're interested in things like this.
All right.